My name is Jericho, and I'm here today to talk to you about religion, the environment, and how Judaism specifically relates to nature and the world around us. We will begin today's discussion by talking about how nature and the environment are intertwined in general. Then, once a basic understanding of Judaism has been established, we will see just how big of a role the environment plays in the Jewish religion. The goal here is to deepen the understanding of Judaism and its connection to and how it values the environment. Let's get started. In his Whose Religion, Which Ecology? Religious Studies in the Environmental Humanities, Willis Jenkins studies how religion and their practices relate to the environment. Jenkins claims that, historically, religion has played a key role in addressing environmental concerns. He states that environmental issues are inescapably entangled with human ways of being in the world. Understanding them must include ways of studying the human. For religious studies, that thought carries two basic implications. First, however a scholar imagines religion, it is inescapably entangled with environments. Religion is ecological, at least in the sense that it is a significant part of humanity's evolutionary history. Particular religious inheritances, traditions, communities, or practices cannot be fully understood apart from the environmental history from which they emerged and whose ecological relations they in turn influenced. Second, because environmental issues are entangled with human ways of being in the world, they are entangled with religion. Insofar as religion is involved in how people inhabit and interpret their world, it is involved in ecologies. That means that we cannot separate ourselves from nature and the environment. It is not possible. Thus, we cannot be separated from environmental issues, and understanding these issues comes from understanding our place in the world as humans. When it comes to religious studies, this means that religion is also directly connected to the environment, and those two cannot be separated either. There are certain aspects of religion in which cannot be understood without this connection between those aspects and the environment. This is to say that as long as religion continues to play a key role in how people view the world around them, then religion will be directly intertwined with the environment. Now let's talk about Judaism. Judaism is a monotheistic religion, which means that at the center of this religion they hold the belief that there is only one God. I think it is important to note that Judaism and Christianity are very similar with only a few major differences. One being that Christians believe that Jesus is the Messiah, whereas Jews believe that the Messiah has still yet to come. Some other differences that can be found between Judaism and Christianity are that the place of worship for Jewish people is a synagogue rather than a church, and the spiritual leaders are called rabbis in Judaism rather than pastors or ministers in Christianity. Another one is that the religious symbol is the Star of David as opposed to a cross. Along with Christianity, Judaism holds the belief that God revealed himself through prophets such as Abraham, Isaac, and more specifically Moses. It is one of the world's oldest and most popular religions, as it dates back to nearly 4,000 years ago, and there are about 14 million people worldwide who practice the Jewish faith. The most important religious text in the Jewish tradition is the Torah. The Torah consists of 5 books: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. These are the first 5 books that are found in the Old Testament of the Bible. These are considered to be the 5 books of Moses, as they consist of the teachings that God sent to Moses. In both the Jewish and Christian religions, it is believed that there are a list of commandments, the top 10 universal laws, which are handed down to Moses from God. The Torah is in the form of a scroll, and it is written in Hebrew. It is believed that it was written prior to the creation of the world and is often considered to be the blueprint of creation. The Tanakh and the Talmud are some other examples of sacred texts found in the Jewish religion. The Tanakh consists of writings, histories, prophecies, poems, and hymns, and the Talmud is a recording of the correct way to interpret the Torah at the time. There are 3 main branches of Judaism: Orthodox Judaism, Reform Judaism, and Conservative Judaism. Orthodox Jews believe that all of the practices in the Torah which it is practical to obey must be obeyed without question. Reform Judaism is considered a liberal category of the religion that values ethical traditions over strict observances of Jewish law. Followers promote progressive ideas and adaptation to modern life. Conservative Judaism is what many people consider to be the form of Judaism that is found somewhere between Orthodox and Reform Judaism. Typically, conservative Jews honor the traditions of Judaism while allowing for some modernization. Now that we have a basic understanding of Judaism, Let's jump in and explore what kind of role nature and the environment play in this religious tradition. I would like to begin this part of the discussion by talking about how Jewish culture thrives on maintaining the environment and regards it as sacred. Although it has been argued that this is due to a deep-rooted care for humans and the environment is just a means to do so, as opposed to viewing the environment as something to be valued, respected, and appreciated on its own, members of the Jewish culture argue differently. They claim that their values center around the idea that the universe is God's creation, his craftsmanship, and humans have no right to destroy it. Judaism talks about the feeling of the presence of God through nature and his creations, in which he entrusted us with, and we must take care of it. According to David Seidenberg in his Eco-Kabbalah, Holism and Mysticism in the Earth-Centered Judaism, Judaism has always viewed the world from a creation-centered perspective, beginning with God's declaration at the end of Genesis chapter 1, that the entire creation is very good, and when talking about creation, this includes everything in the world, including the earth, thus obviously nature and the environment. Seidenberg provides a framework for integrating environmental consciousness with Jewish spiritual practices. His approach, often described as Eco-Kabbalah, highlights the ways in which ancient Jewish mystical traditions can inform modern ecological ethics and sustainability. Seidenberg examines how Kabbalah, especially its concepts of the interrelatedness of all things, the divine immanence in nature, and the spiritual significance of creation, can be interpreted in ways that promote an earth-centered, ecologically responsible worldview. He argues that Kabbalah, with its emphasis on mystical relationships between the divine and the material world, provides a foundation for spiritual ecology that emphasizes balance, harmony, and the interconnectedness of all life. Another scholar, David Vogel, claims that the key to the Jewish contribution to the environmental ethic lies in the concept of balance. Balance between the values and the needs of humans, the claims of nature, and between viewing nature as a source of life and moral values as a threat to human life and social values. The teachings of Judaism challenge both those who would place too low a value on nature as well as those who place too high of a value on it. Although Judaism does focus a lot of importance on environmental principles, it also places a higher importance on the well-being of humans. However, it is important to note that the environment is essential for human survival, and because of how highly Judaism views humans, because we are God's greatest creation, we rely heavily on the environment for all of our basic needs, and therefore we must respect it. Gregory E. Hitzhusen argues that typically, many environmental educators have paid little attention to Western Christian and Jewish eco-theology, in spite of the fact that it's been a potentially rich resource for environmental education. He claims that due to common misconceptions, Judaism has suffered from a lack of acknowledgement towards its contributions to environmental education, as mentioned before. Judaism has a lot to offer when it comes to environmental education, as studies have shown that religious value system advance useful behaviors towards the environment. While tying it directly to Judaism, Adrienne Crone stresses the importance of environmentalism. She takes ideas from Hava Tirosh Samuelson's Nature and the Sources of Judaism, which claims that the future of life on Earth depends on actions of mankind, and humans ought to do whatever necessary in order to both sustain and protect the environment. If we want life to flourish, we must contribute to this flourishing, once again showing the contributions that Judaism has made toward the environmental success. One final thought to consider is this quote by Kelly Peterson. The Jew not be at odds with nature, but rather to recognize particular interactions with it that demand various degrees of environmental awareness. I hope this video has helped you develop a better understanding of Judaism and how Judaism specifically, but also religion in general, are directly intertwined with nature and the environment. Thanks for watching.